Today on CityCast Austin, February is Black History Month. And y'all, there is always a lot to learn, regardless of race. And the George Washington Carver Museum, Cultural and Genealogy Center is the place to explore and celebrate Austin's Black history. So let's get into it. It's Wednesday, February 5th. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. Hello, I am here today with Dila Muyi, events coordinator of the George Washington Carver Museum, Genealogy Center, all of the things. Now, I want to start off top. What is your elevator pitch, like for Black History Month? Why should people celebrate Black History Month in Austin this year?
You know, when we're talking about slavery, Texas was the last place to free slaves. It's especially important for these stories to carry on, for the ancestors who paved the way in order for a day like this to happen. We uplift their legacies and make sure that people learn about pillars within the community that don't get recognition, but during Black history, we bring forth some of these people, you know, and I think it's important that us as a community not only celebrate it in February, but beyond February. But February
Exactly.
is just kind of a landmark that helps us to remember that this history is very important.
So I love that you say that we need to recognize and remember the pillars of our community. That term is one of my favorite terms because it says exactly what it is. Austin has a lot of just like incredible Black pillars that have just kept our legacies going. So I was born and raised here. And I mean, there are just certain people that come to mind anytime I think about this city and its history. So how would you complete this sentence? Like, the history of Black Austin's residents is what to you?
The history of Black Austin residents is Mr. Overton. You know, somebody like him.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, Mr. Richard Overton was an Austin icon. He was the oldest surviving American World War II veteran and oldest man in the U.S. when he passed away in 2018 at the age of 112.
Now, for the record, I'm not from Austin, Texas. I'm born and raised in Oakland, California, but I've lived in Austin for the past 16 years. So
And your family is from here, though, right?
My family is from here. My father was born here. His mother was born here. Her mother was born here. So that's kind of what brought me back home, essentially, right?
Yeah.
To learn more about my ancestors and to dig a little bit about the rich culture of Austin and learn about some awesome things. And I was led to the East Side immediately when I moved here. And I learned about the story of Mr. Overton and just how powerful of a legacy that he left. And then even in talking to him, just the youthful spirit that he had before he left and some of his advice to us as the younger generation, just to continue to fight and make sure, again, that we're upholding these stories. It was such an honor to be able to meet him before he passed away. So when I think about East Austin, I think about him, you know?
Yeah.
Just being honest.
Yeah,
I think about Mr. Overton.
Speaking of which, because, you know, Mr. Overton has his own street named after him, as he should. What are some of your favorite local Black history landmarks in the city?
When I first moved to Austin, I was drawn to 12th Street. And at this time, the Arun Center was still happening. And it was a space where community can gather and throw events and just network. And it was an intimate space, but it really helped me to gather what it feels like to be a Black person on the East Side, you know? And I think that at the time I moved here in 2008, there was some gentrification happening, but not at the rate that is happening now.
Yeah.
So you can still like just feel that east side, I got put on to that, but I could feel some of that real east side culture. And it was so awesome coming from Oakland to feel that and to be connected into that. Places like the Victory Grill, that's now Victory East. Places like Kenny Dorm's backyard,
Yes.
Rosewood Park. Austin has a rich history, and connecting to community led me to some very, very beautiful spaces on the east side, particularly in the Six Square district, District 1.
Yeah. And so now when we talk about Six Square, we are talking about the entirety of District 1, right? It's
Right.
all of District 1. So is it 6 square miles? Is that what it is?
Yes, it's 6 square miles.
So
Mhm.
6 square miles, historically Black Austin in District 1. Um, the landmarks though, so when you said Rosewood Park, like that, for me, I remember Rosewood Park being just my mecca. Because that's where you went for Juneteenth, and then after Juneteenth parade, everybody gathers in the park. You play kickball. Everybody is cooking in the park. I remember going to swim at Rosewood Park when I was a kid. It's like even the Millennium. Like there are so many places that just I don't know. It feels like you see our mark all over the city. You can tell that this is ours. You can tell that our mark is on it, for lack of a better way to say it. So,
Right.
also for me, the Carver has been one of those places too. You know what I mean? Like,
Most definitely.
I want to talk a little bit about the Carver Museum and Cultural Center's role in helping people connect to their history in the city, in Austin, because I don't think that people understand everything that y'all do.
Right. Like you said, the Carver is definitely that space. And obviously, I knew that we would talk more about the Carver side, named other landmarks around the Carver. But the truth is, one of my ancestors now was honored there as someone who was playing in a gospel group called the Chariots. And so when I first came to Austin,
Oh,
she was being honored there. And that was the first historical landmark actually that I was able to come to. So the fact that I'm working here now is really awesome.
yeah.
And so then I started to explore all the amazing things. But now as an employee, like you said, I do think that the Genealogy Center is totally utilized, that people don't understand that you can come into this place and space for free, okay? Tuesday through Saturday,
It's
and
free?
it's free. And we have search engines that are free, right? So it's not ancestry.com, it's different search engines. We have someone there, Heather, who can help you all navigate these systems, and you can find your ancestry, And it's not just in Austin, but it's worldwide. They have worldwide search engines that you can
What?
utilize and find your ancestors. So that was something that I also did as a Carver employee. Sometimes at lunch, I will go there and start looking up my family. I started finding homes here on the east side that some of my family members lived in, that none of my family back in California even knew. Like, hey, did you know grandpa lived here?
Wow.
And I was able to go to these places, and some of these places are newly renovated.
Yeah.
But it was really awesome for me to just connect to my history here. And I did that right at the Genealogy Center. I was able to pull my grandfather's old veteran card,
Wow.
and get that history um, around the census and, just some awesome things. And so I think that people just need to know that these are the capabilities, and this is what you have access to at the Genealogy Center. So please, if anybody out there is listening, whenever you get a chance, to stop by, just stop by and speak with Heather and come utilize some of these free resources. Again, I keep saying free because they are free, and we perish from a lack of knowledge, and if you don't know it's there, if you don't know what you can do there, then I understand why there's a disconnect. But now, if you're tuning into this, you can't say you don't know.
Now you know. Now you know.
Now you know.
The Carver has some of the best programming in the city. So just tell us a little bit about the programming that the Carver Center has going on this month specifically for Black History Month. Who are y'all targeting? Who are you wanting to attend these events?
We're targeting the whole family.
Yeah.
Okay. We are not just targeting adults. We're not just targeting, diversity or inclusion. We're targeting, we are asking our community, no matter your race, your gender, your social background,
Yeah.
to please come and learn about, again, these amazing artists, learn about these amazing resources that we have right at our fingertips. We want people to come and have an experience and leave like, you know what? I can, do something to make this community a better place, or
Yeah.
to make my family, a better family, or to make this world a better world.
And what kind of stuff do y'all have going on for Black History Month?
So this year we have 9 programs, okay?
Whoa.
And this is full with just a lot of awesomeness, okay? So our first program is February 1st. It's called Solar Saturday, and this is our block party at the Carver, and that is the way that we are going to kick off Black History Month. And so our next event we're having is actually in a collaboration with the MAC, the Mexican Art Cultural Center. They are screening a documentary on Thursday, February 6th at 6 p.m. And this is a documentary about the first African-American rowing team, okay?
Oh.
So yeah, don't miss that.
Dang. And there's more, though.
There is more. We only got through 2 events. I told you we got 9. The next event we're having is called Second Sight. And this is February 8th at 2 p.m. And we're exploring mental pressures that arise from conflict, both personal and political. And we have some amazing artists who will also be a part of this. And so this is talking about the Black identity as global citizens. All right.
Yeah. This is the one that I've been looking at. This is the one I've been looking at. I want to go to this one.
Yes. So there will be a reception. This is the opening for this exhibit, and it's from 2 to 4 on February 8th. Our next event is happening February 13th. Now, this is what we like to call our Black Love, celebrating Black love. One year we played Waiting to Exhale, and we had a sing-along, and it was so fun. We got in there and we sang that soundtrack, and it was just so beautiful. I'm just being honest, we really, love and miss the late great Whitney Houston, and you could just feel it in the.
And that soundtrack is fire.
It is fire. It definitely is. And it was amazing. And so we do this every year. This year, February 13th at 6 p.m. The next thing we're going to have is February 15th is our HBCU Day. We'll have workshops where young people can come and learn how to fill out applications. They'll be able to listen to some cool panels about resources. We have a partnership with College Planning Today, and they get millions of dollars in scholarships. And they let us know that the problem is a lot of African-American families don't get these resources because they don't know how to fill out the applications correctly. And so we'll have a process that the young people and their parents can go through early on. But this year, what we have that's very special and that we are super hyped up about is we have the Prairie View Band coming, and we have the HG Choir coming. All right.
What?
We'll have performances from PV and HT. All right.
Come on now. Come on now. I love this.
So that's going to be happening around lunchtime. All right, y'all, bear with me. We still got a few more. So we have the Folk Tales Book Club happening February 21st at 6 p.m. And they're going to be discussing Lovely One, a memoir. They're faithful and they come and they meet regularly and they serious about connecting and reading. I think that's just such a beautiful and powerful tool. Like, we perish from a lack of knowledge, but I think that um, is something that we are seeing with these young people. They desire to have the knowledge.
And also, I've heard that book is incredible. I haven't read it, but this is, I feel like this is like the fourth or fifth time someone has brought this book up to me, or this book has come up in conversation, probably in the past couple of weeks. So yeah, it's called Lovely One, a memoir written by Ketanji Brown Jackson. So, Black Supreme Court Justice. We want to hear everything she got to say.
Most definitely. And then Saturday, February 22nd, we have our Kids Day.
Love it.
Okay, this is like all about the young people. They come in hot, all right? These young people come in hot. And so we have art activities, educational, and fun performances. For the record, everything that we host at the Carver is free. We have partnerships with like the fire department and Home Depot, and we're gonna have performances from the Lee Lewis Campbell dance, cheer, and step squad. We're gonna have a fashion show for the young people. And so it's always lots of fun for families. Come out, bring your little ones, and come have some fun from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. February 22nd. And on that same day, Saturday, February 22nd at 1 p.m. in our genealogy center, we are going to be talking about the seminar about the 1870 census, which was the first census to include detailed information about African Americans. And last but surely not least, Saturday, Saturday, February 27th from 6 p.m. Starting at 6 p.m., we're going to have our Create and Heal the Art of Gospel. All right. And so we're going to be celebrating gospel music, and we are going to have none other than the Levites coming to bring us some amazing gospel tune. And if you all don't know about the Levites out there listening, again, you go find out, okay?
Listen.
Because they are in a phenomenal, just collective husband, wife, leadership, but truly, they bring it. And these not just singers, these some singers, okay?
Singers. They be singing.
They some singers. So I'm really excited.
Also, you better bring your church fan, bring your fan, and bring some comfortable shoes, because I have been in the building when they are performing. And it's like church. So it's about to be church.
Yes, definitely bring that fan, bring your tambourine, bring your church clap, bring it all. We celebrating we celebrating gospel, okay? So you can't celebrate gospel without the church clap.
Without the church clap. I know. Listen. I love it.
But yeah, so again, I know that I went through a lot of information, but please come out. Please bring your families. Please come have some fun. Please come learn. Continue to feel inspired to push forward this work, because it's very important.
I have not a personal question, but I want to know, because things are changing for us. Things are changing for the Black community in Austin. We are deep in gentrification, and not just gentrification, but we are deep in having parts of our history erased. We're deep in losing some of our culture sometimes. And I think that, I'm not saying that y'all are the lone wolf, but I am saying that the Carver stands kind of as a beacon of keeping things together, a beacon of like, no, we still got culture, we still got community, we still got stuff happening. So what do you hope the future for Black Austin looks like?
My hope for the future of Black Austin is that we learn as leaders within a community how to bridge the gaps in between the work that we're all doing. People are starting to understand that together we stand, divided we fall. And so it's awesome to have, again, a lot going on. But the more that we can collaborate and build these bridges together, the stronger that we are, the stronger united front. And I think that with that wave and with that solidarity amongst one another, there's so much that we can do. That when you do have a lone wolf, right? It's easy for that to get picked off. I
Yeah.
mean, let's just be honest.
Yep.
Historically, when there's one group of people doing something very important, we've seen different things happen to them to dismantle that one group. And so the more of us that stand in solidarity around this very important work, the stronger we are, the less likely um, we can be picked apart. And so I think that is very important when you're talking about the history of the East Side, because I think that there are quite a few lone wolves, and I really pray and just putting out those positive intentions that we could all work together for the betterment of the entire community, because it's not just about the Carver, but this is about our community and saving the legacies and the stories and the voices, again, of our pillars, of our leaders, of those who fought so hard for us to stand here today and raise awareness and raise our voices around certain things and injustices that we see happening. So again, together we stand, divided we fall. We more powerful together.
I love that. I love that. I think oftentimes it feels like our identity is being erased in the city. But you bring up a really good point that there are many, many little pockets, little individual things and peoples and happenings going on. And so I often think, it makes me think how powerful we could be if all of these little small organizations, all of these lone wolves, as you call them, all got together and, did something big and incredible. So, along those lines, like, is there anything that's just like you feel like, as someone that moved, so you moved here 16 years ago, literally looking to reconnect with your history and your home and all that good stuff. Is there anything, as someone that has stepped in, is there anything that you would say to the Black community as a whole in Austin about, you know, where we come from and where we're going?
Where we come from is rich history. This soil is very rich with, indigenous, not just what we think of indigenous, because we know that, some Black people were indigenous as well. And these are stories and legacies that are also coming out. These are some things that I could speak to personally about my family. There was a time, as my grandmother would say, I would go to my neighbor if I had the corn, she had the flour,
Okay.
the other neighbor had the sugar,
Yeah.
the other neighbor had the well. We all put it
Mhm.
together, made a big cake for everybody. Everybody took their slice, took it to their
Yeah.
families. We were all able to eat, and they did it again, and they survived. And this is the reason why,
Yeah.
again, we are here today. Well, I think that mentality, for some reason, has left us, and I think it's due to having so much at our fingertips. My grandmother always would also say wiser and weaker, right? So we have so much information at our fingertips, but it's taken us away from some of those old school traditions of being community and coming together, right? Social
Yeah.
media is something that can bring us together, but it can also divide us if that's the only way that you are trying to connect with people is just through social media and not really connecting with people in real life, in real time. Let's continue to learn the history. Like I said, the 1870 census, let's learn the history of the Six Square District, and let's ride for our ancestors. Like they're counting on us to do this work.
Yeah.
You know, they're counting on us to take a stand against systematic oppression, but in love, right? And there are ways that we can do it through our art, through our work. And that's the topic of the Carver's Black History Month. It's talking about the laborer, it's talking about the work. We're celebrating the labor of Black people at the Carver.
Dila, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for talking to me. This has been awesome.
Thank you.
Everybody, you know what to do. There's plenty of things to go to the Carver and see. It's all been laid out for you very nicely by Dila.
Thank
So
you.
make sure y'all get out for Black History Month and celebrate and go talk, have conversations, meet people in your community.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
I really appreciate your questions and the work that you're doing with this podcast as well. So thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it.
That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. You can find links to the Carver Museum and Cultural Center's website and events in our show notes. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Austin newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye, y'all.